talking about Joyride 3. I'm getting closer and closer to being done with this. 31 and 31 movies. I got 2 left after this. 2 left. I'm out of breath. Sorry. So we're talking about Joyride 3. And I thought it was okay. But I do have some problems with it. What's the story? A Formula One racer and his crew are driving on the highway when they come across a trucker, and one of their guys decides to be an asshole and flick dirt on the trucker's windshield, which causes problems because that trucker is none other than Rusty Nail. And it's about the characters trying to survive Rusty Nail. First off, I like the opening sequence. Like the opening sequence at the beginning of the second one, this one sets the stage for what you could really, look forward to with Rusty Nail as a character. And so it starts with these 2 people, a man and a woman. The woman is a meth head. She's a meth addict. And she's, doing meth. And then she starts to fuck her boyfriend. And then she wants more meth while she's doing it, but she can't get it lit. So she tells him to go get more. Problem is, the guy doesn't have any money. So they decide to go on a radio and trick a random trucker. And they're going to see if they can trick him, knock him unconscious, take his money. They asked if he had any party favors or drugs. He said no, but it's Rusty Nail, so you get what you get. He shows up. The guy tries to beat him. It's Rusty Nail, so no. And then they are chained to the front of his rig. And Rusty is very smart, as you know from the first 2 films. So he chains them, and he says that if one of their chains, one of them tries to move, the chain will get caught. They'll both get pulled under, and they will die. But he also puts a bag of meth or whatever it is that she was doing up on the thing to entice her. And he says they only have to survive a mile. They do, but after they survive, the female decides, fuck it, I'm going for it. She goes to reach, which means she lets go of his hand. The thing goes shing. He gets pulled under. She gets pulled under. Both dead. Great opening sequence. It shows you that Rusty Nail is not to be fucked with. Now, but in this instance, they had it coming. But I don't necessarily think, in all these films, they set up something that sets Rusty Nail off. The first film, it was a prank gone wrong. In the second film, it was taking his car. And in this film, it's getting a little bit of mud on his rig. And eventually they cause him to have a little bit of an accident, but it's not that big of a deal. But it was one person's fault, and he takes out everybody in this group. Alright? In the first one, it was both Fuller and I want to say Jesse, but that's not right. And Paul Walker's fault. And Veta got involved, and he went after Veta. She's an innocent bystander at all. But she was still involved in some way. Not in that, but she was innocent. And in the second one, you have them, they took his car. That was a collective, decision. So I understand that. But this, one dude caused it, and he goes after everyone, and he murders them. And let's talk about Rusty Nail right now. I like that they still portray the character as brutal, but there are some problems with this character. One, it's played by a different actor, and I understand that they're going to get different actors. It's played by stunt actor Ken Kurtzinger, who you may know as Jason for the Friday the 13th remake. And that's all well and done. But I don't know who directed this. Written and directed by Declan O'Brien. Okay, Mr. O'Brien doesn't know how to shoot Rusty Nail. You know, from the first 2 films, you're supposed to shoot him where you can't see his face at all. You sometimes see his mouth moving when he's on the CB, but it's still in shadow where you cannot see it. There are instances in this film where you see Rusty's face and you can see it clearly. There is, like the first scene especially, when they're in the, you know, like I said, with the drug addicts. That's in broad daylight. And you can see his face. I mean, they try to obscure it with a hat, but you can see his face. You should never see Rusty Nail's face. That's the thing. No one knows what he looks like. That's why they can never get him. Another problem is they didn't keep the continuity. At the end of the second film, we clearly see that one of his arms is burned. This film, nothing. No continuity from that. There's no burn, nothing. And where Rusty Nail was smart and elusive in the first 2, he's a freaking magician in this. As he can, he magically knows where everyone is, and he's right there exactly when he needs to be. Not exactly, I mean, he was like sort of like that in the first 2, but he was, just because he was smart. Here, it's like he just, it's like they took the powers from the wrong Jason movie he wasn't in, Friday Part 8, and gave him Jason's teleportation powers, and just, he was there whenever. And while we're talking about Rusty Nail, let's talk about his death. Okay, they take his truck, they put it in one of those car compactor things, and he gets crushed. It's a little bit big, but it gets crushed to the point where no one can get in or out without reopening it, right? So at the end, the cops, and we'll get to those, the cops, they show up, they think he's dead, they open it, he's gone, and the next scene shows him limping, going up to another big rig, which means he's going to live on. I understand the last 2 films showed, you know, that he survived, and that's great. The first one, he switched out the driver, so that's easy for him to survive. Okay? The second film, burned. Okay, he's burned, but he's not, like, burned alive. He's got some burns on him, but he survived. But this, he got crushed. And all he has is a limp. No broken leg, it's just a limp. I don't think this guy knew how Rusty Nail works. This guy took on the film, had no idea how Rusty Nail worked, and he just went with it. And that's my biggest problem with this movie, is the fact that Rusty Nail is not done properly. The continuity's not in there with his burned arm. There's, he teleports from place to place where he's just supposed to be smart and know where they are. Like, they showed that he could be smart. They're in a race car, right? He sees the race car, so he starts searching it. And he finds their pictures, and he finds who the driver is online on a laptop or whatever he has. That's smart. But then they have him teleporting, it seems. And there's a specific scene that's very confusing for me. There's a car that's crushed in the thing, and they think that it's the main character's girlfriend's in there, but it's really, there's a phone that's showing a video. Now, it's confusing because I don't know if that was live or if it was pre-filmed, but it shows it's filmed in a way that there's no way it could be filmed that way, the way it was set up. Okay? She's stretched out on this rig. He's driving, right? But the camera is filming from front angle in front of her, and it's showing like they just have a camera pointing on the thing, and it's moving like it's on a trailer, like a regular filmmaker would have. I understand that's what they probably did, but it makes no sense. Who was filming it? Rusty Nail was driving. She's strapped to the thing. Who was filming it? There's no one else involved with him. Who was filming it? It makes no sense. Then I was watching this, I'm like, okay, I understand we get to see, it's showing us, from our view maybe, but then it cuts back to him watching it exactly the way we watched it. How? Who filmed it? That makes no sense. And the characters, okay, save for Jesse Hutch's character, who's the main character, I can't remember the name, escapes me, and maybe his girlfriend and the other female, and this other guy that I don't remember his name, but I don't remember how he dies, but he's very quiet. The rest, there's like, his two friends are dicks, alright? The one that caused the problem, and the other one is, he gets, poor Mickey, he gets taken out by Rusty Nail. Yeah. And I don't. Let's talk about this. For the first time in the series, though, this is what it's like. There's actually a police investigation going on. Alright, yes, there was cops involved in the first one, but not really. They told them what happened, but they didn't really do shit. And they didn't show up till the end. And almost got them killed, by the way. The second one, I don't think they even went to the cops, if I remember correctly. They're told they couldn't go to the cops. So no, they didn't go to the cops. But here, there's actually a legend of people dying on that road. Which means Rusty Nail has killed people on that road before. Is that the same road that the first two movies took on? Why would it be on the same stretch of road? And for the first movies, I don't know. But they mentioned that there is a killer out there. And the cops are actually looking for it once it gets going. Actually, it's a police investigation. And unlike some cops in other movies, the cop tries to help and they die. There is one instance of that. There's a cop that dies. But there's another cop, an officer that looks a lot like Sean Patrick Flannery, but it's not. The discount Sean Patrick Flannery. He is in the investigation. He's the one that finds Rusty Nail's remains, but it's just a truck. But I do like that. And the gore. I love the gore. Carnage candy, man. But there's nothing that sticks out to me like in the second one, that craps scene that stuck out to me. There's not really, well, besides the first scene, and I guess I remember the first scene of this better than I do the second one, because I can't remember the second one, but I know it was something. Oh, the stripper who also wanted drugs, so yeah. Or not drugs, but she wanted to, you know what I mean. But yeah, all in all, guys, I'm going to end this. Joyride 3 Roadkill was lackluster at most. Good gore effects. And there is 2 survivors at the end. I want to call him Trey, but that's not his character. Jesse Hutch. And the person who's not his girlfriend, which I felt like that should have been switched around. I don't know if I missed something, because like she would not leave his side. Was there something going on with them, or what? I don't know. But his girlfriend was taken, where it probably should have been the brunette, not the blonde, but hey, I don't control it, you know what I mean? It is lackluster, and I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. We'll give it a solid 5. So what are your thoughts on Joyride 3 Roadkill? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and as always, love, bitch, chicken grease. Do more laughs.